The City of Sunderland is a local government district of Tyne and Wear, in northeast England, with the status of a city and metropolitan borough. It is named after its largest settlement, Sunderland, but covers a far larger area which includes the towns of Hetton-le-Hole, Houghton-le-Spring, Washington, and a range of suburban villages. The district was formed in 1974 as the Metropolitan Borough of Sunderland as part of the provisions of the Local Government Act 1972 and is an amalgamation of 4 former local government districts of County Durham. It was granted city status in 1992, the 40th anniversary of the Queen Elizabeth II's accession. The city had a population of 275,300 at the time of the 2011 census, with the majority of the population residing in Sunderland. The Sunderland Built-up Area is quoted alternatively as having a population of around 335,000. History: the Metropolitan Borough was formed in 1974 under the Local Government Act 1972 by the merger of several districts of County Durham, Washington Urban District, Houghton-le-Spring Urban District and Hetton Urban District, with the County Borough of Sunderland. The Metropolitan Borough was granted city status in 1992, the 40th anniversary of the Queen's accession. At the Queen's Golden Jubilee the city petitioned to be allowed a Lord Mayor, but was unsuccessful. Although the city does not have a cathedral, as it is located in the Diocese of Durham, it does have Sunderland Minster. Between 1939 and 1945 the Weir Yards launched 245 merchant ships totaling 1.5 million tons, a quarter of the merchant tonnage produced in the UK at this period. Competition from overseas caused a downturn in demand for Sunderland-built ships toward the end of the 20th century. The last shipyard in Sunderland closed in 1988. HMS Ocean, the Royal Navy's biggest warship, is Sunderland's adopted ship. In March 2004 it was granted the freedom of the city. Saint Benedict Biscop was adopted as the city's patron saint in March 2004. City Government, Boundary Review 2004. Like all metropolitan authorities, the city is divided into a number of wards or electoral districts. Each has 3 councillors elected for a 4-year term. 1/3 of councillors face re-election each year, and no city elections are held in the 4th year of the election cycle. This was when each ward's sole metropolitan county councillor was elected, prior to the county council's abolition in 1986. The city has 25 such wards. When the boundaries of these wards were set in 1982, each ward had a roughly equal population. By 2004 there had been a considerable shift in population. In particular, the east and southeast the old parish of Sunderland and the mining village of Rehoboth had lost population to the new town of Washington. As a result the boundaries were redrawn. Sunderland lost 1 ward and Washington gained 1. The 2004 election for all 75 councillors was held on June 10, 2004. Functions: the Local Government Act 1972 created 2 different 2-tier systems for local administration, with different division of functions. As a metropolitan authority, Sunderland retained responsibility for waste collection, although disposal of the garbage was a county function, and for education. In 1986, when Tyne and Wear Metropolitan County Council was abolished, most county functions became the responsibility of the constituent districts, whilst new joint boards assumed the coordinating roles in the county. Thus control over economic development, of the Museums and Archives Service, of the Tyne and Wear Fire and Civil Defence Authority and of the Passenger Transport Authority is exercised not by committees of directly elected county councillors but by nominees chosen by the elected members of the 5 district authorities. Sunderland has not had a separate police force since 1967, when the Borough of Sunderland Police merged with Durham Constabulary. The city is now part of the Northumbria Police Force area. This force was set up in 1974, and covers the whole of Tyne and Wear plus the much larger but much less densely populated county of Northumberland. The city is unparished, except for Hetton-le-Hole which is a civil parish, and which is a town council. Political structure. The city has had a Labour-controlled council since 1974, and often before that. After the elections of May 2003, the political structure was 63 Labour, 9 Conservative, and 1 Independent. The only Liberal Party councillor sat with the only Liberal Democrat as a Liberal Democrat group. 3 councillors resigned from the Labour Party following disputes over the selection of candidates for the 2004 elections. 2 became independent members. 1 joined the Liberal Democrat Party, becoming group leader after the 2004 municipal elections. The reorganisation of electoral areas saw major changes in all but 2 wards, but the elections of June 10, 2004, the first fought under the new boundaries, saw little change in the political representation of the city as a whole, with 61 Labour, 12 Conservative, and 2 Liberal Democrat councillors elected. The Conservative Party won all 3 seats in a new ward whose boundaries span several old wards. The Liberal Democrat stronghold ward was abolished entirely, and became part of 4 new wards, and the Liberal Democrat councillors elected in 2004 were from 2 very different areas. Following further disputes within the Labour Party, 3 councillors resigned the whip at the end of 2006 and, joined by one of the Liberal Democrat members, formed an independent group, which is the minority party in opposition. At the elections of May 2007, the Labour Party continued their decline. Labour lost 3 seats to the Conservatives, whilst former Labour Mayor Mrs Juliana Heron lost to an independent, the same person who had defeated her husband in 2003 and who was in turn defeated by him in 2004. The Conservative Party made further significant gains in the 2008 election, gaining 5 additional seats and strengthening their support in others. The election in 2010, held at the same time as the general election, saw Labour gain 4 seats to increase their majority. In the 2011 local elections, Labour gained a further 4 seats from the Conservatives. After the election, the composition of the council was Labour 56, Conservative 14, Independent 4 and Liberal Democrat 1. Parliamentary constituencies. Since major boundary changes in 2010, there are 3 constituencies covering the City of Sunderland, all currently regarded as safe for the Labour Party: Houghton and Sunderland South, Sunderland Central, Washington and Sunderland West. In the 1992, 1997, 2001 and 2005 general elections, the former Sunderland South constituency was the first to declare the results, and the tradition was continued by the new Houghton and Sunderland South seat in 2010. The whole City of Sunderland is within the North East England European Parliamentary Constituency. Twin towns, Sunderland is twinned with Essen, Germany, and Saint-Nazaire, France. It also has friendship agreements with Washington, D.C., USA, and Harbin and Nanjing, both in the People's Republic of China. Sunderland and Washington share historical links, as the ancestors of the first President of the United States of America, George Washington, lived in Washington Old Hall, which is within the municipal boundaries of Sunderland. Culture, dialect. The Mackem accent and dialect is often mistaken for Geordie by people not from the region, as the 2 tongues share several similarities in pronunciation and diction. The dialect also has several variations between different areas of the city, as demonstrated when the hoax tapes purporting to be of the Yorkshire Ripper were analysed. The tapes were made by a man who came to be known as Wearside Jack, and were thought by linguistic experts to be made by someone specifically from the Castletown area of Sunderland. When the perpetrator, John Humble, was eventually caught, he confirmed that he did indeed attend school in the Castletown area of Sunderland in his childhood. Literature and art. Lewis Carroll was a frequent visitor to the area. He wrote most of Jabberwocky at Whitburn as well as The Walrus and The Carpenter. Some parts of the area are also widely believed to be the inspiration for his Alice in Wonderland stories, such as Hilton Castle and Backhouse Park. There is a statue to Carroll in Whitburn Library. Lewis Carroll was also a visitor to the rectory of Holy Trinity Church, Southwick, then a township independent of Sunderland. Carroll's connection with Sunderland, and the area's history, is documented in Brian Talbot's 2007 graphic novel Alice in Sunderland. More recently, Sunderland-born Terry Deary, writer of the series of Horrible Histories books, has achieved fame and success, and many others such as thriller writer Sheila Quigley, are following his lead. The Salford-born painter, L.S. Lowry, was a frequent visitor, staying in the Seaburn Hotel in Sunderland. Many of his paintings of seascapes and shipbuilding are based on Wearside scenes. The Northern Gallery for Contemporary Art on Fawcett Street and Sunderland Museum and Winter Gardens showcase exhibitions and installations from up-and-coming and established artists alike, with the latter holding an extensive collection of Lowry's work. The National Glass Centre on Liberty Way also exhibits a number of glass sculptures. The Bath-based writer, Dan W. Griffin was student at Sunderland University between 1992 and 1995. His experiences are described in his book, No Stranger to the P45. Music. Sunderland has produced a modest number of musicians that have gone on to reach international fame, most notably Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics. Knicky, which featured Lauren Laverne on vocals, also achieved a top 10 album and wide critical acclaim in the mid to late 1990s. In recent years, a thriving underground music scene in Sunderland has helped the likes of the Futureheads, Field Music and more recently Frankie and the Heartstrings gain national recognition. Other famous Mackem musicians include punk rockers the Toy Dolls, who broke the top 5 of the charts with Nelly the Elephant in December 1984. The punk rock band Leatherface. The lead singer of dance outfit Olive, Ruth Ann Boyle, who achieved a UK chart topper with You're Not Alone in May 1997, and has gone on to work with fellow chart toppers Enigma. A Tribe of Toffs made number 21 with their cult hit John Ketley is a Weatherman in December 1988. On 7th and 8th May 2005, Sunderland played host to BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend Concert, the UK's largest free music festival. The event, held at Harrington Country Park in the shadow of Penshaw Monument, was attended by 30,000 visitors and featured Foo Fighters, Kasabian, KT Tunstall, Chemical Brothers and the Black Eyed Peas. The Empire Theatre sometimes plays host to music acts. In 2009, it hosts Jane MacDonald and the Drifters among others. The Sunderland Stadium of Light has hosted regular concerts since 2009, including the likes of Oasis, Take That, Coldplay, Kings of Leon and the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Theatre. The Sunderland Empire Theatre, opened in 1907, is the largest theatre in the North East, reopened in December 2004 following a major redevelopment allowing it to stage West End shows such as Miss Saigon, Starlight Express and My Fair Lady, all of which have been performed at the Empire. The Empire is the only theatre between Leeds and Glasgow large enough to accommodate such shows. It has also played host to an annual season from the Birmingham Royal Ballet for over 10 years. The Royalty Theatre is the home of the amateur Royalty Theatre Group who also put on a number of low-budget productions throughout the year. Renowned film producer David Parfitt belonged to this company before achieving worldwide fame and is now a patron of the theatre. The Empire also played host to the final performance of comic actor Sid James, who died of a heart attack whilst on stage in 1976. Economy. Over recent years Sunderland city centre has seen a redevelopment of the Sunnyside area taking place, with new bars, cafes and retailers opening their doors on the eastern side of the city. The Sunnyside area now includes an Empire Cinema, Gala Casino and many surrounding eateries. The Bridges Shopping Centre covers much of the city centre and was opened in 1988. It is currently owned by Land Securities Group after they purchased the site in 1990. The Bridges and surrounding stores in the town centre include Boots, Burton, HMV, Debenhams, H&M, Starbucks, Next, TK Maxx, Waterstones, New Look, Tesco, Topshop, River Island, Aphrodite, Monsoon, USC, Ernest Jones and many more. The centre receives over 26 million shopping visits every year. Media, Internet, Film and Television. Sunderland has two local newspapers, the daily evening tabloid The Sunderland Echo, founded in 1873, and the Sunderland Star, a free newspaper. It also has its own local radio station Sun FM, a community radio station Spark FM and a hospital radio station, Radio Sunderland for Hospitals, and can receive other northeastern independent radio stations Metro Radio, Magic 1152, Galaxy Northeast and Century Radio. The current regional BBC radio station is BBC Radio Newcastle. The regional DAB multiplex for the Sunderland area is operated by Bauer Digital Radio plc. The city is covered by BBC North East and Cumbria and ITV's Tyne Tees franchise, which has a regional office in the university's media centre. Sunderland's first film company was established in 2008 and is known as Tanner Films Limited, and is based in the Sunnyside area of the city. The company's first film, King of the North, starring Angus MacFadyen and set in the Hetton-le-Hole area of the city, is currently under production. Sunderland was named the Facebook capital of Britain by the BBC in February 2010. The statistics showed that people in Sunderland were more likely to log onto the social networking site than anywhere else in the UK. Cultural events: Sunderland is host to the region's longest-running anime convention, SunnyCon. The convention usually held in March but recently moved to June on account of the unpredictable weather, with the first year being sunny but the second was tainted by snow and high winds. The event began at Crowtree Leisure Centre in 2012, then moved to Seaburn Leisure Centre for 2013 and for 2014 will be held at the Pullman Lodge. SunnyCon is famous for being the anime convention where you can see big-name US voice actors for the first time in the UK. Recent guests include Chris Sabat, Veronica Taylor, Christina V., Sonny Strait and Vic McNona, with J. Michael Tatum and Cunnington Flynn lined up for 2014. In 2013, SunnyCon won the Sunderland Echo Portfolio Business Award for Best Creative Industry and was also awarded the League of Extraordinary Cosplayers Best Con 2013 and Best Community 2013 awards. Sport: the only professional sporting team in Sunderland is the football team, Sunderland AFC, which was formed in 1879. Finishing 10th in the Premier League in the 2010 November season, Sunderland retained its status in the country's top division in 2011 December and plays home games at the 49,000-seat capacity Stadium of Light. Sunderland also has the North East's top women's football team, Sunderland AFC Women, who have been financially separated from the men's teams since summer 2005. They currently play in the top tier of English women's football, FA Women's Premier League National Division, despite their financial struggles. Sunderland's longest stadium occupancy so far was of Roker Park for 99 years beginning in 1898, with relocation taking place due to the stadium's confined location and the need to build an all-seater stadium. The initial relocation plan had been for a stadium to be situated alongside the Nissan factory, but these were abandoned in favour of the Stadium of Light at Monkweyamouth on the site of a colliery that had closed at the end of 1993. Since the dissolution of Sunderland Nissan FC, the city now has only one non-league side, Sunderland Rehoboth Community Association FC, who now play in the Northern League Division 1 after a successful promotion campaign in the 2009 October season. MMA fighter Ian the Machine Freeman also hails from Sunderland. Famous Sunderland residents. See also, Sunderland coat of arms, Sunderland, references. External links, 5, Wearside Online, 6, Sunderland City Council website, City of Sunderland at DMOZ, Sunderland at DMOZ.